everyone is no doubt famous with the opera known as the Phantom of the Opera. However, few people know that the opera itself was inspired by the novel written by Gaston Leroux, also titled Phantom of the Opera, the original novel. It is my belief that the Phantom of the Opera should be placed on the best loved novels of America due to several facts. One, it is extremely well crafted in that the novel has several plot twists and turns that are unique and intrinsic to the way Gaston writes. Two, it is a story of how good overcomes evil, an atrocious evil set in 1881 France around the old Paris Opera House. And as no doubt the name of the opera house states, Paris. It is both a romance and at the same time a mystery because several of the major characters, the Viscount, Raoul, his brother, Count Philippe, Christine Daae, the prima donna of the opera, uh, the current owner of the opera, as well as the assistant owner of the opera, all do not know who the Phantom is or if he is in fact living or a myth designed and perpetrated by the opera itself to draw in people. However, the narrator of this novel starts off as the owner of the new owner of the opera and soon shifts into the madame herself, the madame of the opera house herself, Madame Giry. And from there, Madame Giry goes through and starts explaining. She seems to have an intrinsic knowledge of the Phantom and his association and relationship with the opera house in general. However, things take a turn for the worse when his letters are not being followed to the letter specified in the letter. He can either hurt you or he can help you. And in his letters to the new manager, he specifically states, do these things and I will make you well known. I will help you. I will pull people in for you. I will make this opera house great under your leadership. The former opera manager used to do this, this, and this. I would like to see this stay. If you do not, bad things may come. And similar to a Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events happens, leading to death, tragedy, and a particular incident that will actually give away the ending of the book, which I will not state. If you are familiar with the Phantom of the opera and movies, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. However, this book I read on a very, very heavy basis. Every few weeks or so, I pick it up and I read it. I used to watch The Phantom of the Opera every time it came on the TV because I absolutely love The Phantom. And it Andrew Lloyd Webber's portrayance of the Phantom in his opera and the televised version of the opera itself are both very well done and well crafted and stick true to the events in the novel itself, which is very rare. The novel is supported by the movies and the movies are supported by the novel. Now, several of the key intrigue points of the novel are centered around the letters and the opera girls, the what they call the page girls in the novel. In so far that they seem to know what's going on. Everybody seems to have seen, in one fashion or another, the Phantom. However, nobody can really accurately describe him. It is like he is, as they say in the novel, it's the ghost. It's the ghost. I saw the ghost. But nobody can actually describe the ghost in any detail other than three people throughout the entire book: Raoul, who comes face to face with the ghost later on; Christine Daae, who seems to have a very intimate and intrinsic relationship with the ghost; and Madame Giry, who seems to know everything about the ghost: where he's from, why he's there, how he got there. It seems like she is, and Gaston wrote her this way, she seems to be the omnipotent third person who is there, knows everything. She seems to have been there when the opera house was first started. She has all the knowledge and all the details. She knows all the dirty secrets of the opera house, but refuses to tell anyone more than what they need to know. And she tries her best to keep her girls, her opera girls, from leaving the opera house due to the ghost. They feel very threatened by the ghost. He is a very threatening and menacing presence to most everyone in this book. However, later on, an event occurs between Christine and the Phantom himself, which seems to show that he has a very fond appreciation and almost obsession with Christine, which leads us into another facet of why the book was written. This book was written on the human psyche, on morals, and on moral standings, as well as public perception of obsessions. The Phantom is obsessed with Christine. He wants her to love him. He wants her to be great. He helps her. He coaches her throughout the entire book. However, when she is confronted by him, he turns out to be her worst nemesis. She rejects him over the course of the novel, and that sets off another chain of events which leads to the tragedy surrounding the opera house at the end of the book, which I will not be giving away. So, by detail scoping the fact that this book, which follows Raoul and Christine's relationship, the relationship between Giry, Christine, and the girls, and the Phantom's relationship in regards to everyone else named in the book: Philippe, the Viscount himself, Christine, Giry, everyone named in this book is in some way related to the Phantom, not by blood or anything of that nature, but simply because they're there in the opera house, what he claims is his opera house, and he wants to see its be successful, or he wants to see it fail, depending on how you interpret his actions. Now, the Phantom himself is rather a genius when it comes to musical scoring and musical adaptations. And he actually, through the course of the novel, is writing his own opera that he wants Christine to be the star of. And that is also in part of the tragedy at the end, which I will not specifically state exactly what happens. And it is these facets, the fact that it is a look into the human psyche on obsessions and how they can be destructive, obsessions over objects, people, emotional obsessions and attachments that lead to the downfall of our society, for instance. This book is still so very much viable that it is, in my opinion, to be placed up there on the list of best loved novels, because everything that it revolves around is pertinent even in today's time. You should check out this book at least to give it a chance. It is absolutely beautiful in the way that it is written, the way that the narrator tells the story, and most of all, it is more of a tragedy. It is more of a tragedy in a tragic story in literature than a romantic story or a mystery story. It is a true tragedy in the Shakespearean sense of the word.